Hi, my name is Min Trong. Welcome to Intro to Mobile App Development, IMS 351. We meet on a forum Wednesday, 5:30 to 8:30 or 8 o'clock. Let's see. Let's jump straight to the syllabus. This course covers the underpinnings of technical implementation of web and mobile design. We'll cover HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery mobile, and Phonegap. Phonegap is basically a technology where you combine all these other web technologies into an application for mobile devices or mobile apps, including iOS, Android, BlackBerry, Windows, and so on. We will also learn design theory, putting these technical languages into use. We'll cover things like metaphors and progressive disclosure. That's basically just presenting information small bits at a time instead of everything at once and making people confused generally. We'll touch base on what WIMPs are and what post-WIMPs are. WIMPs are basically your typical computer desktop interface with folders and menus and all that stuff. But when mobile came around, especially when touchscreen came around, we don't have a lot of the same language anymore, like hover, rollovers, and so on. It's just a finger touching a screen. The structure of the class, come prepared. It's a little strange being online, but you should be prepared going online with your assignments and so on. What's required for the class are sketching pads, Photoshop, Illustrator. These are basically ideation tools and sketching tools. A mobile device, if you have any. If you don't, you can borrow them from your school. A required reading is Essential Phonegap or Phonegap Essentials by John M. Wargo. This book has a lot of the details that are tedious, to say the least, like installing Phonegap and all that stuff. I won't cover them too much because it's pretty tedious stuff. It's just typing in this and typing in that and so on. Especially if you have an Apple versus a Windows machine and so on. It will vary a lot. It's also required to read Phonegap.com, jQuery.com, and jQuery mobile, just to get yourself immersed in these sort of technologies. If you are planning to develop an app for Apple, you will need to sign up as a developer. Free for students. And also, when you become a developer, you can download the Xcode app for free. This is a link. Just click on it and sign up. Every time you install an app on an Apple device, you will need some certificates and credentials. It's for, I guess, security reasons. Suggested reading, JavaScript Definitive Guide, and jQuery Compressed. And it's also suggested to have Dreamweaver. It makes coding, HTML-wise, a lot easier. They have a lot of the template already built in and makes things easier. Okay, projects. This is basically the grading percentages. Engaging on the forums, 10%. Quizzes, we will have them periodically throughout the quarter, 15%. Assignments, 30%. We'll have that pretty much every week till week 8 or 9. And the final project will basically we'll be working up to building a final project. That's worth 45%. And the project would be come up with some sort of utility app. We actually will try to build an app. A bonus would be to actually put it on like an app store, and so people can buy it or download it for free. Grading, A for superior execution and just great overall craft. B, strong execution, but in average in craft and attention to detail. C, average execution, everything average. D, poor execution, poor level of attention to details. And F is basically if you just messed up and not turned in anything. Expectations. You'll be required to respect everybody in the class, be helpful, just be nice to everybody. Do your homework and enjoy your work. So this is the schedule breakdown. This is the first week. Basic introduction. We won't be doing anything much. Second week is when we start diving into the class. I'll go over basic HTML, CSS. Sounds like a lot of you know this already, but it's worth a revisit. Third week we'll dive into JavaScript until week 5. It sounds like a lot of you know JavaScript already. This might be shortened to 2 weeks. Then we'll jump into jQuery. The problem with JavaScript is that it has many flavors, like IE, Internet Explorer. Microsoft has a different flavor from Safari and Mozilla and all that stuff. So that's where jQuery comes in. Tries to build a framework where it tries to make just JavaScript simpler and cross-browser compatible. Then we jump into jQuery Mobile, which is built on top of jQuery. Makes mobile development a lot easier. You don't have to do coding at all, really. You just tag HTML a certain way, and it makes the thing work. And then we'll get into Phonegap, and then we'll start developing our app on week 8, and then the final week is week 14. Okay. You could read the last page yourselves about religious observances, computer failure, academic honesty, use of studio equipments, and conduct. Let me show you what jQuery is all about, or Phonegap is all about. We'll get into that later. This is a Phonegap app I created. The structure is pretty easy to figure out. This is my iOS platform build. This is a Xcode application. This is a web directory. This is where your app logic is, basically. Let me open this guy up. If you use Apple, Xcode is definitely required. Basically what Phonegap is, it's just a basic empty sort of browser or web view. This is where your HTML, JavaScript, jQuery is loaded into. That's the whole gist of Phonegap. And let's see the nice code. You won't get to mess with this too much, but it's basically the underpinnings of Objective-C of iOS code. Okay, so every time you need to test your app, you go into Xcode, build a simulation. Let's do an iPhone simulation. Hit run. It'll start to build the application and run it in a simulator. So as you can see, the app is running in a simulator. To really test this, to test any mobile app, you need to run it on a physical device. It's just part of the paying attention to details. An app might work in a simulator, but might blow up in an actual device. So you always need to test it on a device. That's basically it. That's how Phonegap works. Oh, if you're using Android, you're gonna have to be on your own with that. I don't have Android installed, or I can help you too much. Basically, what you need to do is install the Android SDK on your computer, and you'll need a Java editing software like Eclipse to put it all together. Xcode is handy in that it's all bundled together, and I don't have to deal with separate pieces and trying to fit them all together. I think that's it. Okay, later. Bye.